Sit up, Garrison. We find ourselves today in Mr. Schrader's class, one of the most beloved teachers in all of Canadian high school history. Sad that he's planning on retiring this year.
Or next year.
Or maybe it's the next year.
Or actually, no, I think it's the next year.
After that, the year after that?
Or maybe the next one, maybe after that.
Okay, sometime in there. He may never retire. But we're here because we want to talk a little bit about something that is a big deal in this community, and that is our schools.
That's right. We both believe that we have one of, if not the best, school system in the state of Texas. From the teachers, the custodial staff, the maintenance, administration, even the students. Fill in the blank, we've got it. I'd be one to put up our school against anybody in Texas, from the pre-K, elementary, all the way up to seniors, even beyond that. It's top of the line. We're extremely proud of our school, and it's something that our community takes great pride in as well.
That's right, and we do very well in a lot of things. I mean, we take a lot of pride in our athletics, but we do well in academics and just turning out decent people that come out of the school system, and we like that. I had senioritis. I think I really caught senioritis about the third day of my second grade career. I was ready to be done with school. And I know we got many seniors that this has been a horrible year for them as a senior year. But most of us, when we get to that time, we're ready to get out and to go. And whenever you look back, while it may be interesting to go back to high school with what I know now, nobody really wants to have to go back and live high school, and especially middle school. Grade school maybe okay, but we don't want to go back. It's always about being forward and forward looking. I can barely fit in one of these desks, but it gets pretty uncomfortable if I go trying to sit in one of those little chairs in Miss Johnston's old room. Not that easy. We need to be growing and expanding who we are mentally, emotionally, physically, and especially spiritually. Paul, or the writer of Hebrews, tells us we can't just keep on holding on to the elementary teachings about Christ, but we need to go on to maturity. That there is a call for us to have some senioritis and be ready to move on to the next level. He says this, the writer of Hebrews says this in chapter 5, starting in verse 11. He says, "We have much to say about this, but it's hard to explain because you are slow to learn. In fact, though, by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you the elementary truths of God's word all over again. You need milk, not solid food. Anyone who lives on milk, being still an infant, is not acquainted with the teachings about righteousness, but solid food is for the mature who by constant use have been trained." And I think that's where we move to, constantly moving to the next step up in our faith, to the next point of maturity, to the next part of our life with Christ that can help us to grow closer to Him, and not just Him, but to our neighbors as well. May we all do that. May we press on toward that goal of maturity